Hey guys, it's Kevin again. This can be another classic movie review for you guys. This time I'm going to be reviewing to you the 1996 horror movie slasher classic, Scream. Now, Scream. This was a movie that I wanted to review for you guys last, October. I was going to review it to you last summer, then I was going to review it to you in October, and I just didn't get a chance to review it at all at any point, at any time. So, I didn't get a chance to. However, you know, it's been on my list of movies I need to watch for a while, and I finally decided to watch Scream. And what did I think of Scream? I love this movie. I absolutely love this movie. I think Scream is probably my favorite horror movie now. It really just, oh my god, Scream's so good. I'm not going to watch the other two movies because I've heard they're just okay. But this movie, in my opinion, is just amazing. I loved everything about Scream. I love the references to other horror movies. I just think it's such a great movie. Like, definitely everybody says that it's, like, the best horror movie ever. It really is the best horror movie ever. Like, I was thinking, best horror movie ever. That's a lot to say. But now I understand why, because it really is. But let's talk about what Scream's about. So Scream is about, in the very beginning, in case you guys don't know what Scream is about, I'm sure you guys do know, but in case you don't, Drew Barrymore, in the beginning of this movie, she's murdered. She gets this call from this guy, Ghostface, and he's basically like, what's your favorite scary movie? That's how he says it, basically. And, you know, they go back and forth and everything, until she realizes that he is a killer who is trying to kill her boyfriend, kills her boyfriend right in front of her, and then kills her. And basically, they need to find out, you know, then we follow Sidney Prescott, and she needs to try to find out what is going on with all these attacks, who this Ghostface person is, and what's actually going on there. Because her friends start getting murdered, and that's basically the story of Scream. It's not too much, but it overall is a really good story, and I really do enjoy it. Let's get to the acting in this movie. The acting in this movie is actually really, really good for a horror movie, and that's one of the things I love about it. The other thing about this movie is that it was the very first horror movie to kind of reference other horror movies. Like, it was the very first one to do that, because they didn't want it to be another cliched horror movie, because at this point, some people, horror movies were not as popular anymore in the 90s. Like, there were no, like, really big horror movies in the 90s that people really liked. And Scream was the one to bring that back, was Scream, and you know, without Scream, horror movies might not still be happening today. So Scream is the movie to thank for that, because people just did not want to see horror movies anymore. So yeah, but the acting in this movie is amazing. Neve Campbell as Sydney, wow, she is great in this movie. I thought she did a really great job. One, she's hot. She was hot in the 90s. And I just thought she did a really, really great job. Courtney Cox as Gail. You know, in my opinion, I thought she also did a really, really great job. Courtney Cox has always been a great actress, and I thought she did a really great job in this one. Ski Ulrich as Billy, he was really great as well. You know, he was also really, really good. David Arquette as Dewey. Everyone was really good in the movie, I'll say that right now. Let's talk about some of the things I really love about this movie. First of all, the first scene is one of the greatest scenes in horror movies I think I've ever seen. Probably one of the greatest killing scenes in horror movies, because it takes about 11 minutes for her to actually die, and she dies in like the first 12 minutes of the movie. I was surprised by how long it went on. I'm like, this is already going on. It's like 12 minutes in and it's still going on. I kind of like that, because it made you want to like anticipate it a little bit more, and I like that. But that scene with Drew Barrymore, amazing scene. Probably the best killing scene in this movie, because it's just so intense. You do not see it coming. You don't see it coming. You don't see it. You know she's going to die, but when she dies, you don't see it coming. And I thought it was very well done the way they do that. I love that about this movie. I love that it's kind of unpredictable with the kills, and I really like that. But Drew Barrymore also did great in this movie. So yeah, she was really good. And of course, you do also have that classic scene where, you know, they're all at that party, and they're explaining the cliches of what not to do in a horror movie. It is absolutely hilarious. I really do love that scene. I thought they did a really great job. I believe it's Jamie Kennedy's character that says that, but either way, it is very funny, and I really did enjoy that about Scream. I like that. I like that it's sometimes not meant to be taken seriously. However, then it is. Now, of course, there is a huge spoiler for Scream. So if you have not seen Scream, which you definitely should, because Scream is like the best horror movie ever. If you have not seen Scream, don't watch the rest of this review, because I'm going to spoil some big things about Scream. Alright. So the biggest reveal, of course, is that the killer is found out to be Sydney's boyfriend, Billy, who she had just had sex with. And he did that. He had sex with her just so she could die, because one of the biggest rules is that you have sex, you die. That's one of like the biggest rules in horror movies. So, I mean, that was really big when, you know, the killer was revealed to be Billy. I mean, I knew that was going to happen because it's a scary movie. I'll say this, do not watch Scary Movie before watching Scream, because it'll basically spoil the whole movie for you if you watch Scary Movie before watching Scream. There were some things in it that I didn't expect, but that was definitely, a, you know, really great reveal. I thought his character actually became a lot more interesting after that, because, you know, of course, the whole reason they did this was because their mother had an affair. Her mother had an affair, and this was basically their revenge for that, so that's why they've been doing all this, and I thought it was a very cool the way they did that. And Skeet Ulrich just became awesome when he turned out to be the killer. Like, he became very creepy, and I really loved that about his character. And then, of course, the other big thing, of course, is all the killings in this movie are very, very cool. I do think the one killing that I don't really like is a garage door one. I just found that really weird. The one where the girl gets killed by a garage door. Like, I just found that weird. Like, I don't know, I just found that one really weird. I wasn't too fond of that one, but all the other ones were really cool. The ending. The famous ending is basically, Billy gets, you know, Dewey gets, taken away, you know, because he's injured, and Gail goes on and basically talks about what's happening, and that's how the movie ends. I do know there's one complaint by people in this movie that starts with this movie is that Gail almost dies in every single movie, but she comes back to save the day. And everybody hates that pretty much, but I think, you know, the reason they do that is because they know they can't kill off her character, plus it's more unexpected if they do that. However, when you make other movies and you do the same thing, it kind of becomes a cliche. In this movie it works, but in the other two it doesn't really work as well. But, you know, it worked well in this one because it wasn't expected, and I like that. Wes Craven, by the way, great director in this movie. Oh my God, so much great directing from Wes Craven in this movie. This is why Wes Craven is one of the horror greats, because of this movie. Because of movies like Scream and A Nightmare on Elm Street, which is probably my second favorite horror movie of all time. But he basically did an amazing job with this movie. He really did. I commend him for his work. He was so good in this movie. Especially like the movie again is very self-aware. Like, it knows the rules of horror movies, what you can and can't do, but yet they do it anyway. And I like that about this movie, that they do that. You know, I think that's actually pretty funny the way they do that. And of course, this movie does, it was probably like one of the very first graphic horror movies like they've ever, I mean, not one of the really graphic ones, but the blood, the gore, it looks so real. Like, all the killing scenes are really cool. They all look so real, and I love that about this movie. I loved how real it looked. And I mean, I love Nightmare on Elm Street. I love Halloween, but this movie I thought this movie was just so good because it's unexpected. The twists are good. And I like the quirks in it, because, you know, the movie can be funny at times. I will say that, you know, when you see this movie, you'll know what I'm talking about. But the movie can be funny at times, and I like that about this movie, that it can be funny. It seems like it seems kind of weird that it could be funny, but it can be. It can be a really funny movie, and then it becomes really serious. And, you know, those last 20, I love that the last 20 minutes are, like, we find out who the killer are. Like, it's the last, like, 40 minutes of the movie. It's really awesomely done. I like the slow pace of the movie. It's not very fast-paced at all, actually. It's a pretty long movie. It's 111 minutes, and I like that it's slow-paced because it sets things up better. And I like that definitely very well. I thought they did a really great job with that. You know, there's some really great shots, though, in this movie. Especially, like, the killings, as I said, are really well done. And also, Ghostface is a great villain. Ghostface is an amazing villain. I mean, Ghostface, of course, is Billy, but when you don't know who Ghostface is, it's, like, so creepy, because, I mean, I can imagine seeing this in the theater, and you see that mask, it's just, like, really, really creepy. I know people today still get scared by Ghostface. Like, they say, Ghostface is, like, one of the most terrifying things ever. It really is. Ghostface is terrifying. Like, you don't want to see Ghostface, 'cause if you see Ghostface, you know you're gonna die. So, I mean, and Ghostface really is one of the creepiest things I've seen. I will say this, I did see, Scream 4 before this, but this was 10 times better than Scream 4 by far. I definitely love this movie. Everybody needs to see Scream. If you're not seeing Scream, you need to see it. It will change the way you like horror. It will change the way you think about horror. And I think that is amazing with Scream. Alright. I think that's it for my review of Scream. Let me know what you guys think of this movie. I personally loved it. And my next video will be for another classic movie review, which I'm not telling you guys what it is because I want you guys to be surprised. So see you guys for that. Okay, bye.